I am continuing my reading, and what I am doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a little bit as I move along. Right now, I am reading chapter 27 of Leviticus. This is the last chapter in Leviticus. And when we are done, we will be moving on to the book of Numbers. How properties are consecrated unto the Lord. Israel commanded to pay tithes of their crops, flocks, and herds. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When a man shall make a singular vow, the persons shall be for the Lord by their estimation. And the estimation shall be of the male from 20 years old even unto 60 years old. Even thy estimation shall be 50 shekels of silver, after the shekel of the sanctuary. And if it be a female, then thy estimation shall be 30 shekels. And if it be from 5 years old even unto 20 years old, then the estimation shall be of the male 20 shekels, and for the female 10 shekels. And if it be from a month old even unto 5 years old, then thy estimation shall be of the male 5 shekels of silver, and for the female thy estimation shall be 3 shekels of silver. And if it be from 60 years old and above, if it be male, then thy estimation shall be 15 shekels, and for the female 10 shekels. But if he be poorer than thy estimation, then he shall present himself before the priest, and the priest shall value him. According to his ability, that vowed shall the priest value him. And if it be a beast, whereof men bring an offering unto the Lord, all that any man giveth of such unto the Lord shall be holy. He shall not alter it, nor change it, a good for a bad, or a bad for a good. And if he shall at all change beast for beast, then it and the exchange thereof shall be holy. And if it be any unclean beast, of which they do not offer a sacrifice unto the Lord, then he shall present the beast before the priest, and the priest shall value it, whether it be good or bad. As thou valuest it, who art the priest, so shall it be. But if he will at all redeem it, then he shall add a 5th part thereof unto thy estimation. So this is people or animals being consecrated to the service of the Lord. Depending on their age and gender or sex, is how much that if you want to consecrate your son to work and serve the Lord, and your son's 10 years old, then you have to pay 20 shekels. You want to consecrate your 5-year-old, then it's 10 shekels. If you consecrate an animal, then it just becomes the Lord's, becomes holy. But you can, you still have to, you still, I don't know if you're paying it. I think that when you're consecrating it, I think the priest is paying. But I don't know. Because it says if he's too poor. So I think it is that they pay to become servants to God, that they consecrate themselves by making an offering of silver. But you can you can offer an animal. I think I get it. Just if you offer yourself for service, you pay for the service. If you offer an animal for service, then you can purchase the animal back by paying the redemption price plus 1/5. It's honestly a little. It's not precise enough for me to know exactly what they're saying. Anyways, it's a somewhat confusing chapter. I'll have to look into it a little more later, because there are some things that makes it sound like you're paying the priests to become consecrated, but there's also portions that make it appear that the priests are like, it's like the father gives his son to the service, so the priest pays the father. I think that's what it really is saying, actually. Now that I think that because it says here, singular vow, the persons shall be for the Lord by their estimation. So yeah, it's the family wants to consecrate a member of the family to the service of the Lord. They are then paid according to this for the consecration. So if I consecrate my 10-year-old son to the service, they give me 10 shekels, and my son serves the Lord. If I consecrate an animal and it is for a sacrifice, then it's just the sacrifice. If it's not for the sacrifice, then they again pay me for it, and I can buy it back if I pay an extra 20%, an extra fifth of what I got for it. That, I think, is what it is. Took me a little bit to work it out there, but pretty sure that's what it's talking about. Anyways, now that we've confused ourselves, let's move on to verse 14. And when a man shall sanctify his house to be holy unto the Lord, then the priest shall estimate it, whether it be good or bad, as the priest shall estimate it, so shall it stand. And if he that sanctified it will redeem his house, then he shall add the fifth part of the money of thy estimation unto it, and it shall be his. And if a man shall sanctify unto the Lord some part of a field of his possession, then thy estimation shall be according to the seed thereof. An homer of barley seed shall be valued at 50 shekels of silver. If he sanctify his field from the year of Jubilee, according to thy estimation, it shall stand. But if he sanctify his field after the Jubilee, then the priest shall reckon unto him the money according to the years that remain, even unto the year of Jubilee, and it shall be abated from thy estimation. And if he that sanctified the field will in any wise redeem it, then he shall add the fifth part of the money of thy estimation unto it, and it shall be assured to him. And if he will not redeem it, and if he will not redeem the field, or if he have sold the field to another man, it shall not be redeemed any more. But the field, when it goeth out in the Jubilee, shall be holy unto the Lord, as a field devoted. The possession thereof shall be the priest's. And if a man sanctify unto the Lord a field which he hath bought, which is not of the fields of his possession, then the priest shall reckon unto him the worth of thy estimation, even unto the year of the Jubilee, and he shall give thine estimation in that day as the holy thing unto the Lord. In the year of the Jubilee the field shall return unto him of whom it was bought, even to him of whom it was him whom the possession of the land did belong. And all the estimations shall be according to the shekel of the sanctuary. 20 gerahs shall be the shekel. So this is an interesting one. Now this is donating or consecrating land. Consecrate a house, you can then redeem it. Works the same way. The priest gives you the value of the house. If you want it back, you have to pay the value plus 20%. With land, this is an interesting one. If I own the land, if it is my possession, my inheritance, and I consecrate it to the priests, I can redeem it whenever I want until the year of Jubilee. When I get to the year of Jubilee, if I have not yet redeemed it, then that field permanently goes to the priests. In the Jubilee, it is given to the priests instead of back to me. However, if I buy a field that is, I buy a field in the year of Jubilee, I have to give it back to who I bought it from. So if I buy a field and then consecrate it to the priests, in the year of Jubilee, it has to go back to the person I bought it from. Because it was originally his inheritance, I did not have the right, or I had the right to consecrate it, but not to make it a permanent consecration. Only the person who the inheritance belongs to can make it a permanent consecration. I find that a very interesting distinction there. a little bit complicated, honestly, when you're first thinking about it. You got to really wrap your head around these things, because there's a lot of details in here. But the inheritance is a very important thing in the covenant of God with the law of Moses, and even in the modern day, the inheritances are very important things. And so, if it's me doing with my inheritance, it becomes permanent. But if it's somebody else doing something with my inheritance, it can't be permanent, because it is not, because it's my inheritance. So, okay, let us finish this off. Verse 26. Only the firstling of the beasts, which should be the Lord's firstling, no man shall sanctify it, whether it be ox or sheep, it is the Lord's. And if it be of an unclean beast, then he shall redeem it according to thine estimation, and shall add the fifth part of it thereto. Or if it be not redeemed, then it shall be sold according to thy estimation. Notwithstanding, no devoted thing that a man shall devote unto the Lord of all that he hath, both of man and beast, and of the field of his possession, shall be sold or redeemed. Every devoted thing is most holy unto the Lord. None devoted which shall be devoted of men shall be redeemed, but shall surely be put to death. And all the tithe of the land, whether of the seed of the land or of the fruit of the tree, is the Lord's. It is holy unto the Lord. And if a man will at all redeem aught of his tithes, he shall add thereto the fifth part thereof. And concerning the tithe of the herd or of the flock, even of whatsoever passeth under the rod, the 10th shall be holy unto the Lord. He shall not search whether it be good or bad, neither shall he change it. And if he change it at all, then both it and the change thereof shall be holy. It shall not be redeemed. These are the commandments which the Lord commanded Moses for the children of Israel in Mount Sinai. So just a brief thing. The firstborn is God's. Doesn't matter. No need to consecrate it, because it's already God's. If it is an unclean animal, then you redeem it. But if it's devoted, I think this is given specifically to the service of God permanently. It's devoted means it is permanent. You can't redeem it. You can't take it back. But more importantly, the tithe. I like this. This is a good point on the tithe. The tithe wasn't just, okay, we had 50 new animals born this year, so we give 5 of them to the Lord. No, it's specifically the 10th one. Every 10th one. So when you're going in, and your cows are calving, however the terms are. 1 calf is born, it's yours. 2 calves, that one's yours too. 3rd one is yours, all the way down to the 10th one. When the 10th one is born, that's the Lord's. That's the tithe. And you can't exchange it. Whether it's good or bad, you do not exchange it. If it is born deformed, if it is born sickly, it doesn't matter. That one is the Lord's. You do not take what it belongs to the Lord. Whether it's good or bad, the 10th one goes to God. When you're harvesting your wheat, you harvest it all up into bushels. The first bushel is yours, the second is yours, the third is yours, and so on until you harvest up the 10th bushel. And the 10th bushel goes to God. But I love that God says it is not, you don't give the best and you don't give the worst. You don't just pick 10, you don't pick 1 out of 10. It is the 10th one. When if you own 10 acres of land, you harvest the first 9 and the 10th one goes to God. The harvest of the 10th one goes to God. It doesn't matter what the condition is of the 10th one. The 10th one is God's. And what he means by saying, and if you exchange it, they both become holy. What that means is that if you do an exchange, then the result is that both of them are given as tithe instead of just the one. So I like that. God is not asking for the best. He is not rejecting the worst. He is just saying, every 10th one give to me, because it is mine. But we'll leave this one here, and in the next video, we will pick up with Numbers.